Welcome back to the All Ball Podcast, where it's all ball all the time. You are here with your host, Sean and Isaiah. As always, this is episode number 30. And today we're going to be talking about Zion and his problems in New Orleans at the moment. Then we're going to be talking about the very sad and disappointing dunk contest. And we're going to finish it up with a question about the Celtics. But before all that, Isaiah, how you feeling today, man?
You know, I felt really empty this week with no basketball for 3 straight days. It felt like something was missing, but fortunately, basketball came back yesterday, and we have some news to talk about.
Yeah, so JJ Redick came out a couple days ago, I think it was like 2 days ago, and said Zion Williamson is a detached teammate. So they spent about a season together. And just from him saying that, what are your thoughts?
My initial thought is, well, that perfectly explains why he's going about this whole whatever situation, rehab, injury, whatever you want to call it. Why it explains why he's going about it the way that he is, not really hanging around his guys, not going to the games and watching. He reportedly went and did some rehab out in Portland. Yeah, so having a person who played with him and was there at a time where he was sort of struggling with injury, it's good to get that clarification from somebody who actually has insider knowledge and not maybe some reporters who could or could not be telling the truth, trying to get clicks maybe. But JJ, he doesn't need clicks. He's JJ Redick. He's already getting the clicks just because he's providing good quality basketball podcasting.
And all this stems from another reporter asking CJ McCollum if Zion had reached out to him. And McCollum said no, but he had spoken to people in Williamson's camp. And then JJ Redick went on. I'll read the direct quote. It says, "This just shows a complete lack of investment in your team, in the organization, in the city. I get that he's hurting away from the team, but you just traded for one of the 50th best players in the league. A guy that's supposed to be paired with you. Reach out and say hello. This is a pattern of behavior with Zion that we're seeing again and again. And look, I was a teammate. I can describe him as a detached teammate. This is an accurate statement. This is basic level of humanity being a teammate, sending text to a guy when he's getting traded to your team. This is just normal behavior. That is the bare minimum you have to do." So what is this? Like, I've already heard about people talking about Zion being traded from the Pelicans, and we've talked about that before too, about how his future in New Orleans doesn't seem like it's going to continue much longer. What do you think the market value is for him?
Really, based on the way the Ben Simmons situation went down, I think his market value is still going to be pretty high, because the whole thing with the Ben Simmons situation was, is his value going to drop because he's acting like a diva?
Right.
And while it did look like it for the most part, eventually Daryl Morey made it work because a lucky fluke situation of James Harden not liking it in Brooklyn happened. And so things just fell in line perfectly for them. But for Zion, we don't know what could happen, but as of right now, there's really no fluke situation that looks like it could be brewing. But if one such as the Harden situation were to happen again, then I think Zion could be traded for his typical market value. But if something doesn't magically happen to line up with what his value was before this injury and how he's acting, then I see him just getting moved for less than he would have been worth, just because teams aren't going to want him because of this diva type personality, or selfish, you could say, in the sense that he's just really apathetic about his teammates, about his staff, coaching staff, front office, all of them. He just really does not seem to care about any of them, and is just worried about doing whatever he's doing. I don't even know if you could call it rehabbing if it's not helping him get back on the court any sooner.
Right. We talked about him also. There being reports about him skipping rehab.
Exactly.
But also, we know what he can do when he is healthy. He averaged 27 points and 7 rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
I think the problem is, I think you kind of touched on it a little bit, is his injury. And then also, is it a problem with only New Orleans? Or is he just, maybe it's like a Anthony Edwards type of thing coming out of the draft where maybe his heart isn't fully into basketball?
That's a tough one. I think that could play a part in it, where maybe he's just not fully invested in basketball.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it could also be just a New Orleans thing. We saw how Anthony Davis got throughout his years in New Orleans. And maybe it's just hitting Zion sooner than it hit Anthony Davis.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the thing that really puts it more towards either him not having his heart fully invested in basketball or him just not necessarily caring is the fact that he hasn't even shown basic respect to teammates.
Right.
Like, it's one thing to disrespect the front office, the coaching staff, because at the end of the day, those are the higher ups. Those are the guys that tell you what to do, or at least try to. But teammates, they're all just like you. They're all going through the same thing that you're going through. So to not even extend basic courtesy to them, like, we're hearing that he didn't greet CJ when he came in. That means he probably didn't say goodbye to Lonzo when Lonzo left. Probably didn't say goodbye to JJ when JJ left. Who knows what else he's doing out here to disrespect his teammates besides not attending games.
Right. So now the question is, if you're saying it might be a New Orleans thing, so then what's the problem in New Orleans that you think might be going on?
No. I'm saying that what I was just saying is that all of that could be a contribution to why it's not the New Orleans thing.
Oh, okay. Okay, I get you. Yeah, I mean, this is tough for New Orleans too, because they had a star in Anthony Davis. He left. Now they had a guy who they looked like was going to be a cornerstone of their franchise, and it looks like it might not pan out with him. What do you think the future is for the Pelicans?
Honestly, even with Zion, I didn't have much hope for a future with the Pelicans.
Mm-hmm.
Because when he did play, they still weren't making the playoffs. So it's kind of like a Kings situation where it doesn't matter how good of a star player that they can have on the team. They just can't seem to do something right in either the front office or the coaching staff to make that combination a playoff winning combination.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So was there anything else you want to talk about Zion? I know I was the one that kind of brought that up to you, but just any other thoughts on Zion himself?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and move on to the dunk contest. We've already talked about we both hated it. We both thought it was really disappointing. The whole world thought it was disappointing. I myself sat through the whole, skills challenge, 3-point contest and everything, waiting for the dunk contest because I wanted to see Jalen Green. And after Jalen Green got eliminated, I was already disappointed, and I just turned off my TV, didn't watch the rest. What was your experience with it? I was so mad that I waited there for like 2.5 hours just to see mid dunks and my star get eliminated.
Yeah, I have to say that I was in a similar boat, but it wasn't even when he got eliminated. It was when he was missing all the dunks. I was like, okay, I already know he's getting eliminated, so I don't even care to watch the rest. It's like it's already obvious that it's about to happen, so I don't need to keep watching. I just kind of had it playing in the background while I was on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
Then eventually it just got so annoying hearing him miss over and over to where then I just turned it off. Like I couldn't even
Uh,
focus on the game because he was just so bad in the background. But
yeah.
honestly, I knew he was gonna sell us when he came out with his phone on a chain
The
with
NFT.
an NFT. Like, come on, dude. What? What is this? What is this gimmick?
I mean, the whole thing was just making me laugh. First, it was Cole Anthony with the Tims.
Oh man, the Tims. And the way he started, he was breaking down, he was hitting it, he was
Yeah.
dancing. He really thought he was going crazy.
Like I think it would have been different if the All-Star game was being held in like in New York or something.
Yeah, it's like
But
I think it was supposed to be homage to his dad,
uh-huh.
but as far as I know, I never saw Greg Anthony wearing Tims. I know he played in New York, but I don't know about the Tims now.
Yeah, that confused me quite a bit. And I really in my mind I was like, what kind of degree of difficulty does this actually add to your dunk? Like, yeah, maybe
But
it's a little harder to dunk in the Tims, but
hey, don't get me wrong now. Yeah, Tims are some heavy shoes. They have no sort of cushion, so it's not a comfortable jump. And this is the real reason why I accepted that as a reasonable difficulty on his dunk, because
mhm.
I was watching them do their practice dunks like just to warm up, and Cole Anthony was rim grazing on all of those. So at that point I was concerned, like, hey, is he even going to be able to make dunks in the dunk contest for real? Because he's barely making these warm up dunks.
Okay, so really, I guess the main problem with me with the Tims was how long he took to put them on. Like, why not just come out in the Tims? Why do you have to like lace up your actual like sneakers and then be like, oh no, hold on, my time, my turn's up. Let me go sit down, take these shoes off, and struggle to put these Tims on, and then like go for my dunk. The dunk contest took up so much time between him putting on the Tims, Jalen missing every dunk in the world.
And getting 17 attempts.
Yeah, I know. I think it was a lot better when there was a time limit on the
Yeah,
dunk contest.
that's exactly what I said as I was watching Jalen miss over and over. I saw him missing constantly, and I said, this is the reason why the 1 minute timer was better than the attempts limit.
Hmm.
Because with the attempts limit, as we saw with Jalen, you can kind of loophole your way around that one if you don't actually try to put it in the rim.
Right.
So if you just kind of jump and you don't feel it, then you can just say that's not an attempt and you get to try again. And it's like, it just made it so unenjoyable watching him constantly. I'm going to jump and then not try to dunk it so I can start over. Or I'm just not even going to jump this time. And it was really ugly.
I mean, Josh Christopher was kind of selling him though a little
Oh
bit.
yeah, yeah. You see, I understand that that's his homie. That's one of his day one friends. But Josh Christopher is not a playmaker by any means. I don't know why he trusted him with a off the side of the backboard pass.
Hmm.
Playmaking is something that you really have to have an eye for, and if you have that eye, then you can just pass the ball in any scenario at the perfect spot.
Hmm.
And Josh Christopher does not have that eye. So it was just a doomed combo from the start.
Yeah, man. It seemed like a lot of these guys were in-game dunkers too. I also
Yeah.
wish they would have had more like diversity with the dunkers that we had because it felt like these were all first year guys or second year guys. I'm pretty sure that's what it was, right? Because it was
Yeah,
uh
it's Toppin,
Toppin,
Cole
Green,
Anthony, Green,
and then
and Juan
Quan.
Toscana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I wanted to see some some older guys, some like mid 20 guys. But I mean, I'm sure those guys probably don't even want to like participate in the dunk contest.
Exactly. I think that's the reason why it was these younger guys, because
Mm-hmm.
the older guys, most of them were all stars who are known as great dunkers.
Mm-hmm.
Besides Aaron Gordon, who,
I was about to say Eric
yeah, yeah,
Gordon.
yeah, no, no, Aaron Gordon, who has
Yeah.
already renounced all affiliation with the dunk contest thanks to D Wade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there was really no choice but to go with these young guys because all the older guys, they know that the dunk contest sucks. They weren't going to be a part of that, or they just already have some beef with the dunk contest, or they've outgrown the dunk contest in the case of Zach LaVine.
Mm-hmm. So, other than the time limit, what do you think the NBA could change to better the dunk contest? Because I mean, yes, a time limit can only can help so much,
Mm-hmm.
but like there was no creativity in any of those dunks. It felt like.
You see, and that's what I was going to get to. I was going to say that the time limit would just help the horrible experience go by faster. It wouldn't actually enhance the experience. It was just, okay, we know this is going to suck. Let's just end it faster.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's just, there's only so much you can do with dunks. And we're talking about a contest that has been going on for 70, 60 something years, somewhere around there. It's
Mm-hmm.
been going on for a very long time. And just to try and have people come up with new stuff when so many things have already been done in the dunk contest, it it's really just it's almost impossible to have more creativity. That's the reason why the 3-point contest works, because there's no creativity to it. There doesn't need to be. It's just about guys going out there shooting shots.
Right.
There doesn't need to be variation, because simply shooting that many shots in a 1 minute window thing, I think they upped it to 80 seconds or 90 seconds now, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
But shooting that many shots in that window of time is the difficulty. It puts pressure, seeing that you're going against some of the other best shooters in the league. That adds the pressure, and that's what makes it exciting to watch most of the time.
Right. And
But
I've always. Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. Go ahead.
I was going to say, but with the dunk contest, we have to rely on people to quite literally innovate and create things that don't exist yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the problem. It's just too much has been done where there's not very many things that are humanly possible left to do with dunks.
Right. I was gonna say that at least for the last 3 years, I think I've had more interest in the 3-point contest than the dunk contest.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things I saw on Twitter was a lot of people were saying to replace the dunk contest with 1v1s with a certain amount of dribbles. I think that would be pretty interesting to see like Kawhi go against like I don't know, Braun or something. I mean, I don't know if those guys would be down to
Yeah.
participate in it,
Yeah.
but
I don't
still,
know if that's happening,
but still, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it,
I know what you're trying to say though. Seeing
yeah,
some of our favorite players go out there and try to take each other one on one.
yeah,
I think it doesn't necessarily need to be a one on one. Maybe it could be a 2-on-2 or 3-on-3.
hmm
Just any sort of park basketball style of play. Man, we can even watch guys play 21. I'll take that.
yeah, that'd be pretty exciting too. It'd almost be like, I mean, it's basically a smaller version of the All Star game. But
Mm-hmm.
what do you think about the All Star game?
I think the All Star game it was, first of all, it was just too predictable. It was
Mm-hmm.
obvious that Team LeBron was going to win just from when they got drafted. That was beyond obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it was very obvious that the first 3 quarters or 2.5 quarters were going to be no defense, just out there doing whatever, dunks, shots, this, that.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it got to that final stretch, okay, now we're going to try and play serious so we can win.
Yeah, I've always had more interest in the what do you call it? Like the skills challenge 3-point contest than the actual All-Star game, just because like you said, it feels like, I don't know, just a shoot around for the most
Mm-hmm.
part. I mean, Steph Curry was kind of going crazy, but
Yeah, that was
that
something that
was,
actually made this All-Star game exciting to watch.
what did he hit, like 17 threes or something like
It
that?
was 16. He had 8 in the
16?
first half and 8 in the second half.
Yeah, that was crazy to watch. Even LeBron's game winner was kind of fun to
Yeah.
watch too.
You see, it was funny because as I was watching the All-Star game, I also had my headset on and I was in a PlayStation party.
Mhm.
And while I am known as somebody who does not like LeBron, you could just hear me saying "Le game winner, Le game winner."
That's what I was about to say. Like, you could say I talk bad about LeBron all the time, but I'll give him his flowers for this one. He deserves a pat on the back for
Oh
that
yeah,
game winner.
yeah. He had a terrible game leading up to it, but he made the shot when it mattered most. Contested fadeaway with I think it was 2 defenders, and he cashed it.
Yeah, it sucked though that KD couldn't play. I did Harden. Harden didn't play, right?
No, he couldn't
No, I
play.
was about to say
He was
because
still
he's
hurt.
his quote unquote hamstring.
Yeah,
But
that I think that was Harden couldn't play, and then that's why Jared Allen came in.
mhm. um, but yeah, man. Other than that, what do you think about the skills challenge? I think I kind of like the format of the teams of three thing with the Giannis. I mean, not the Giannis brothers, the Antetokounmpo brothers, the Antetokounmpo brothers, and then who was it? Was the
It was the
Cavs and then the
Cavs.
Rooks.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. It had a little something interesting. I don't even know how the rookies won because they seem like they didn't care at all. But yeah, I'll just say I liked it. I think it was probably the second most interesting thing, other than the 3-point contest, and then obviously the dunk contest being last.
Mm-hmm. You see, I think the skills challenge is something for the past few years that has always been one of the more exciting things to watch, in my opinion, at least.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you can really feel the tension and the pressure there, just like with the 3-point contest.
Right.
And so I think if there was some way that they could extend it without making it boring, that could really catapult to one of the more upper echelon events of All-Star Weekend.
Right. And honestly, I don't even think it needs to be like one event better than the other. Like, you know how like
Mhm.
the dunk contest is kind of like the headline thing.
Yeah.
I think if everything is on the same tier, like the skills challenge, 3-point contest, dunk contest, this would make it so much better. All-Star Weekend
Mhm.
so much better.
Yeah, yeah. You see, and that's what I was kind of getting at there. I don't necessarily mean it needs to be the best event, but
Mm-hmm.
it could catapult it from this event that it's kind of niche in the way that people who like it really like it, and then everybody else is just kind of about it.
Right.
So I think that if they could find a way to really give it a boost, it could be up there with what the dunk contest is supposed to be and with
Right.
the 3-point contest.
Yeah. So, do you have any other thoughts about the dunk contest or anything All Star Week related?
I also wanted to talk about, do you think that there's any innovations that they could make to the All-Star game to make it more competitive all the way through?
Like the actual All-Star game
Yeah.
itself? I mean, I kind of liked what they had already did with the each quarter is, worth something instead
Hmm.
of it being the 4 quarters total. I know it is 4 quarters total, but yeah, they kind of divided it up, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you
Um,
mean. Each quarter having an individual score, and then it all adds up at the end.
but it's also hard to kind of change the game without like changing actual basketball. You know what I mean? How could I put it in a better way? Like what could you actually change to the game to where it's still a real game?
I mean, I'm not saying you need to change the game itself. I'm saying
Uh,
put some other incentive in there. Like they
uh,
already put the charities, and that clearly didn't work. They,
oh yeah, unless the money's going to them, they aren't trying.
exactly.
I'll tell you that they aren't. They're not trying unless the money's going to them. But that's kind of like the same thing with the how they were talking about the midseason tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I've talked about this before to some other people, and I've said that unless there's money involved, there's no reason for a guy like LeBron to be trying to win a midseason tournament.
Yeah, I think
So,
maybe if there was also some kind of team incentive, not necessarily money, but
mhm,
maybe even though this isn't realistic, but something like getting an extra pick or something like that.
yeah.
Like that could be a way to maybe incentivize actually going for the win in a mid-season tournament.
The only way or the only reason I think they could change it, and this is because MLB does this with their All Star games.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever wins the All Star game, whether it's the American League or the National League, gets
Mm-hmm.
home field advantage in the World Series.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. So if the West wins, whoever comes out of the West, they get the home court advantage.
Mm-hmm. You see, I think that can't work because we already have the way home court advantage is set up in the NBA. It's just by your record.
Yeah. So it in theory, I think it might be able to work somehow, but at the same time, are you going to be trying really hard in the regular season just to get home court advantage through the Western Conference Finals, or are you going to wait to play really hard in the All Star game so that when you get to the finals, you get home court advantage? Then, you know what I mean? It's I don't know. It seems like it might be able to work, but at the same time, it's tricky.
I just remembered. Yeah, another reason why that won't work is because they dissolved the whole conference by conference thing. So
Oh
you
yeah, that's
can
right.
you can have players playing from the opposite conference, even though their leader may be from the East or the West. So
Yeah, it's true.
it would be a conflict of interest. Like, do I win this so that the opposing conference gets home court advantage?
Yeah. Just gonna have to roll the ball out of bounds every time you get it.
We're gonna watch guys intentionally try to tank their own team.
Tanking in the All Star game. That'd be crazy to see.
Oops, I passed it to the opposing team. Man, how did I do that?
Shooting shots off the side of the backboard.
Doing those Spice Adams jump shots.
Did a little too much weightlifting before the game.
Yeah, I just hit a good curl session before, man. The biceps are sore. I can't shoot like I normally do. Throws it into the fifth row of the crowd.
Oh man, I forgot to take the Tims off.
Tries to dunk it and doesn't even get up to the rim. Man, it's the Tims. They're too heavy.
Yeah, man. I don't know. All Star game. I think there is a way to make it more exciting. It's something that's tricky. Like I said,
Yeah, I mean, it's the way to make it more exciting is obvious. You just have to get the players to play all the way through. I'm not saying they need to go all out like it's a real regular season game, but at least try to play defense throughout most of the game. Like obviously, don't try and get injured going for a block or something, but don't just let people walk all the way to the rim.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, how do you make them more competitive when there's nothing really on the line for them?
Yeah, and that's where the tricky part is. It's obvious how to make it more exciting. The issue is how do you get the players to put that into action?
Yeah, because they already got the All-Star selection next to their name. What else? Yeah, I think that's the main thing they really want.
Yeah, it's like they care about the All-Star selection, and then maybe some guys will go for the All-Star MVP, and that's about it.
Yeah. So was there anything else you want to talk about All-Star Weekend related?
Okay, no, that's it.
All right. Well, I got this question about the Celtics for you that I've been seeing on Twitter.
All right, let's hear it.
Are the Celtics the dark horse in the East for the
My
playoffs?
goodness. What? What?
Yep. Because I guess you could say of how good they've been doing lately. In their last 10, they're 9-1. A lot of people are thinking that this team should be a team you worry about in the playoffs.
So I'm just going to be straightforward with it. No. I don't believe that this team is a legitimate threat to win, which is why I don't like calling them the dark horse, because the dark horse implies that there's a legitimate chance for them to go to the finals. I don't believe they have a legitimate chance to go to the finals. I think all of the teams above them, except for maybe Cleveland, have what it takes to best them in a 7-game series if it really comes down to it. But I think what they've shown now is that they can at least get to the second round instead of fighting for a play-in spot like they were before.
In my opinion, I think the Celtics can at least make it hard on the team. Can they steal a series? My answer has to be no. The only way I could see them winning a series is if both Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown get hot.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, I can't really see them winning a series. Can they make it hard on an opponent to win? A couple games. Will they steal a game or two here and there? Probably. But actually winning the series, I don't think so.
You see, that's why that just depends on who they go against. Because the East is really close right now in terms of those top 6 spots. So with those top 6 spots, any shift could happen. I think if something happens where maybe Milwaukee slides up, Philly slides down, and it becomes a 4-5 matchup of Cleveland and Boston, I think Boston could take that series. I think maybe if they matched up with Philly as they would as of right now, depending on how James Harden integrates into the system, they could probably take that series. I don't think there's any way they take Milwaukee. I don't think there's any way they take Chicago. And maybe they could take the Heat, but that's a strong maybe. But
I don't think they could take the Heat.
Yeah, I don't see it likely. Like, I think again, it has to be a situation of somebody getting injured probably for them to take the Heat, which is the same thing would have to be for any of the other teams that I said.
Yeah, I don't think they could take the Heat. You put Butler and Tucker both on Jaylen and Tatum. That already cancels out their two biggest factors. They don't really have another playmaker like we've talked about before.
Yeah.
What happens then?
The Heat, they got Derek White from the Spurs.
Hey man, don't sleep on Daniel Tice either. They got Daniel Tice.
They got that boy Daniel Tice. We saw what he was doing for us.
Shooting mid-range fadeaways and clanking off the front of the rim.
Shooting accidental fadeaways at that. His natural shot form is just a fadeaway.
Yeah, but that was a question that I wanted to ask you. I've been seeing that on Twitter quite a bit. I'm guessing it's more Celtics fans that think that they're the dark horse in the East, but
Yeah,
I
you have to be a
I
Celtics
don't know.
fan to truly believe that this team is a dark horse to really make a run in the playoffs. I don't think they make it past the second round, if they even make it to the second round.
Yeah, I don't see them making it past the first round. Like I said, they'll make it tough, but other than that, I don't see them doing much. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about? I guess before we go ahead and end today's episode, there wasn't really much to talk about for topics wise.
Yeah, no, because it was a slow week for games and everything. That's all I got to say.
All right, well, that's going to be the end of the episode. If you like the episode or the podcast in general, go ahead and like and subscribe. Comment down below. Isaiah, any last comments?
Don't forget, share the podcast with as many people as you can. It helps us out, and that helps us give you a better product. And don't forget to check out the podcast Instagram and Twitter.
All right, we will catch you on the next one.